ready or not, here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Prepare to be caught. Here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Riding on the playground, no more dance to make a sound. Round and round and round and round. No one wants to be first found.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I woke up to a something playing on my phone. I literally woke up, heard what I heard, grabbed my tablet, and turned it on. I'm not even basically sat up. I've just now rubbed my eyes for the first time. That's how brand new I am to waking up. And I'm listening to this, what is it called? It is the night of the Idaho murders. And it was just playing on my phone. And it's from Fox News Sportscast. Anyway, there's a guy talking about the timeline, how it just started. Like they were just talking about where they were that night and so on and so forth, and that Zana was the last one to go to bed because she was up waiting for her DoorDash, and that everybody had been up talking when Keely and Maddie had gotten home and were chatting together and all that stuff, and then they all went to bed, and except for Zana was the last one up. Okay, so I got to thinking about that, and I'm like, that does not ring true to me. And the reason it doesn't, hold on, it just started in my other ear. I should put another earbud in, actually. I don't know if it's going to be, I'm going to put my earbuds in. So hopefully it doesn't cut me off when it does this. If it does, I'll have to start again. These are the hardest earbuds to get out of here. I love them, but they're hard to get out of the case. Okay, got it out. Stick it in my ear. Oh, it's charged. Battery full. Good. So, curious how different that's going to sound when I get it on the CapCut. Anyway, so they're talking about how everybody's in bed and she's waiting for DoorDash, and I'm like, now that doesn't ring true to me. And the reason it doesn't ring true is because everything we've heard about Zana is that she's larger than life, right? Larger than life. She commands the room. She works the room. That's just who Zana is from what we've seen. Now, that doesn't mean she's always like that, because for sure, when you're always like that, you're going to be damn tired. So once you are like that for so long, you're going to have your downtime. And plus, being awake and partying all, as long as, from the games and everything that went on, that day and the day before that, because they had the other party, right? Would have taken a toll on the body, and that's a whole other issue too. That would have been taken a toll on anybody's body. Being Friday with the parties and the dance for Betty's ball and just all the happenings, right? Yet Bethany and Dylan didn't hear Zana there. They are claiming they didn't know that they were home, that they didn't hear them come home. Well, how could they not hear them come home? Zana would have probably been, if they've been partying that long, both Zana and Ethan were probably 3 sheets to the wind, like everybody else should have been. So they would have definitely heard them. I mean, you can't walk in that house without somebody hearing you. It is hollow. That house was built crappily. I'm sure there wasn't even padded underneath those floors, in my opinion. I mean, underneath the wood floors and stuff. So I'm sure they were really, really loud. We've heard it on all the videos how loud it is, you guys. It even kind of echoes. Oh, that was a good stretch. But the part where Zana seems to be in the house at this time and nobody knows she's there because they can't hear her. What? Even if she was tired, they would have heard walking around in that house. The house is not as big as it may seem, and the way it's leveled out, the different levels on it, they're I'm not even going to say staggered, they're stacked right on top of each other. The only difference, like from the third to the first, maybe you wouldn't hear quite as much, but you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. I mean, and Zana, even though she did gymnastics and stuff, she seemed a little heavy-footed, So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not, no big deal. But, I mean, she was light on her feet, yes. But when someone is tired, they've been partying for a couple days straight, they're going to be heavy-footed, And then there's Ethan, big, tall Ethan. I'm sure he wasn't, the, ballerina in the china shop. He might have been the bull in the china shop some of the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just life that you're going to hear. You're going to hear them. How come nobody heard them? And when I say how come nobody heard them, I'm talking about Dylan and Bethany, because Maddie and Kaylee don't have a voice at this point. We don't know. In fact, this whole case, we're going by hearsay. We're going by what these people are telling us in the interviews and things like that. And as we know thus far, that none of their stories ring true, and they change all the time. So how can you even take that as testimony? I, for one, can't. Because now that I'm hearing, I'm looking back on videos like this video I just made where Dylan and Dylan and Bethany and some other girl, I don't know who she is, are standing there with a VIP lit up sign in the background, holding a warning sign, can't tell what it says on the bottom part of it, and they're dressed scantily, and they're like right buck up against each other, front to back, front to back, front to back, acting like they are all in love with each other or something, or about to, embark on a romantic situation or a romp or whatever. And they're in a room that's just got lights, like fairy lights around the ceiling area, and then there's a VIP sign that's lit up quite a lot. But the room itself looks dark, except for you can see the background and which room it is. And it's the room that they say in the beginning the whole time was empty. There was just, we've seen it through the body cams. It's the room with the orange curtains. Now we're being told roundabout way here and there that was Bethany's room, not the one on the other side that we were led to believe was Bethany's room on the bottom floor, but the one with the orange curtains. The ones the cops peeked into when they did the noise complaint. Well, it does show in certain pictures that was Xana's room before, a while back, but then it shows that Zana moved to the second floor, so that was her room at this point. So that room allegedly was empty. When they peeked into that room, and we saw golf clubs, we saw in the background hanging were lots of men's polo shirts, and I think there was a costume, a Halloween costume or something back there, but it was all guy stuff, right? Okay, so when Bethany's given an interview talking to that one police officer, he's asking her which was Blaker. Great, I interview Blaker. Anyway, whenever I'm like that, I spell it PFFT. That's what that means. If you guys ever come across that, that's what that means. So he's asking, about the flashbang, that she hears, right? And hearing and seeing, like she says, she saw a light, right? Well, some of them say that, some of them don't, I think. So in order for her to be able to see a light, she couldn't have been in that one bedroom closest to the Queen Road. It had to be the other side, because that's where the door was. The other one, the other room that doesn't have the orange curtains is hidden behind that stairwell, and she wouldn't be able to see the door at all. She wouldn't be able to see a light, and she wouldn't have heard it as well either, because apparently it seems like it was a little not very loud, because we can't hear it per se in the audio cam from 1112. So there you go, PFFT. So what gives there? So which one is Bethany's room, and why is it such a secret? Good question. Yeah, sometimes I ask a halfway decent question. I mean, that was just kind of a normal question anybody would ask, I would hope. Cops didn't ask it, so there was nothing normal about that. And that's how I feel. There's nothing normal about how they're interviewing. If they interviewed like that all the time, which maybe they do, but not, because it's lazy. It's pure laziness is what it feels like to me. They didn't ask any good questions at all that they would have been able to get any information from. Like, they didn't feed off of each other. These questions didn't lean into the next question, which would lean into the next event, which would lean into telling the story. They didn't even ask questions that would allow these students to actually tell a story. Theirs were dead-ended, basically. And since when do you do that? It's a lead in the story, just like that. A lead in the story. You're leading into the story. You're leaning in to keep it going. You're leading them through, not leading them with your words, but by your questions you're asking. Your good questions, the ones that are going to benefit what you're going to get out of their answers. And their answers can't be beneficial if you're not asking questions that continue to feed off each question. You're just not. And they did not. And then they didn't even follow through. They would stop it. They might have. Once in a while there was a question that was fairly decent, but they never fed off of it. They never continued it. They never, took that question and asked another one, that would have taken that question even further into maybe a possible answer that would have been extremely needed. They just didn't. And then, like I said, when there's times that they did, they might have asked a couple questions to lead off of that one, and then it gets to a juicy part, like, oh, this is good. Okay, follow through on this one, right? Done. Stops. Nothing else is said. Nothing else is asked. See you later. Shake your, go to your therapist. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Disappointing. So highly disappointing. What do they do? What did they do all day? The cops, I mean. We know they don't write reports. I mean, what do they do? Do they just spy all day? Because we know they do that. We've seen it. We've heard it. We've heard them talking about it. We've witnessed them doing it, you know, and then talking about it later. I mean, it's... In some cases, I'm sure you've got to do that, right? It's you got to do it. But in this one, there's just something. Oh, God. It's right there, isn't it? It's just right there, out of our reach, out of our line of view, out of the path of travel. It's just right there. And nobody in that town wants to talk about it. What is it? And why don't they want to talk about it? Whose problem is it? Who is it attached to? And how many? And how deep? And how far? And how far and wide does it go? I don't know. These are questions I ask myself every day. And sometimes I'll get an answer that I might want to, you know, bounce off of. But most of the time, there's just a dead end. Because in order to get any pertinent information to get us anywhere else, we have got to speculate. We have got to make it make sense in our head, which is the most difficult thing to do because of the way they've done things thus far, you know. So speculating, yes, for sure. How could you not? They've given us that. They've opened the door to that. That was them. They opened that door and they invited us in. And then they opened a door off of that door and a door off of that door and a door off of that door. All doors that were meant to either cover up something, lead us on a different path, to get us to believe this or that, or maybe think that we were going to believe this as in something that they wanted us to believe, but there's no way in hell we can believe it. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It bends backwards when it should be bending forward. It goes down a one-way street the opposite way. I mean, it's just literally, it's like petting an animal's fur backwards. I mean, this is how it feels to me. It feels like that the things that they give us are so unusual and so what? Like literally, like I'm sitting there when it happens time after time after time, and my mouth just opens with nothing coming out, and then it's just like, what the hell is going on? So when you're given these things time and time again for 3 years, the questions don't stop. They get more abundant, they get deeper, they get wider. And they're massive at this point. I don't know how anybody could not ask questions. Oh, there's Kitty. She's up on the roof. Gotta let her in. Come on. I don't know if you can hear or not. Come on. Jump. Oh, not too wet. Not too wet out there. So the main thing what brought me to this was the larger-than-life Zana, you guys. Zana. The Zana we know and love. And will always be in our hearts and souls and our mind's eye, seeing her this way. Because that's what they wanted us to see. That's what they showed us. Those are all the things they showed us, right? Why did they show us those and then tell us she was so quiet? So quiet as a mouse that they couldn't even hear her when she was there with Ethan. How come it was so quiet? How come nobody heard her? She was up and about. My cat likes when I whisper, she purrs. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not. So, if Zana was hungry and she had ordered a DoorDash, did she not race downstairs to go get it? I mean, she would have been probably 3 sheets to the wind. Zana. Happy-go-lucky, lovable Zana. Bouncing around. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Flip, twirl, dance. Danced everywhere she went, right? How come nobody heard her? Where's Zana? Where's Zana? Where's Zana? Zana. Where's Zana? My kitty's coming up to me and face white-eyed baby girl. Hi. She loves it when I whisper. She just came and stood on my chest. Where's Zana?